Democrats refuse to do the right thing and cancel America's health care. So Mr. Big Stuff has shut down the country and will fire the government en masse. This is close to what some MAGA voters voted for, eliminating deep state bureaucrats who do food safety inspections and keeping airline travel smooth. But they may come to regret the closure of museums where they have enjoyed ferreting out and denouncing offensive and biased stories about that much over-reported topic, slavery. In general and admiral news, Wartime President announced correctly that the U.S. is under invasion from within. The invader is, of course, the understood him. At the highly militaristic meeting in Quantico, he advised the U.S. military to practice on American cities in preparation for invading the world. Also at the Insult Fest, Secretary of Death Hegseth said there'll be no more fat generals. And on the DEI-DL, no more non-white men. He added that when you kill people and break things for a living, you should be proud, not gay. You are warriors, not defenders, he added toxically. No, not those. Elevating the discourse, the smart president said Illinois has a stupid governor. So, in the case of stupid v. unhinged, it's an uncivil war. Oh, and also, the Democrat Party should try to be more civil. Hegboy also reaffirmed the genocide medals for soldiers at Wounded Knee, where America was invaded from within by so-called natives, who were woke. Their descendants continue to claim they were massacred unfairly. They will be deported. Again. Judge William Young has declared that you cannot target foreign students because of their opinions. President Fuck All Y'all countered, I just did. The judge said Rubio and Noem are just chillin'. Dissent. Meanwhile, President Revenge has indicted former chief spook James Comey on charges of having indicted his character. King Don is weaponizing the government on the grounds that it was weaponized against him. A silly claim, since you don't need to weaponize anything against a crook, fraud, liar. Meanwhile, Pam Bondi, appointed to keep Trump positioned above the law, says no one is above the law. Comey must be brought to heel for his heinous crime of having testified remotely during the pandemic. Mafia Don had to fire or sideline prosecutors to get at his latest victim, but it is clearly not like the Saturday Night Massacre because Trump is not a Quaker. Trump has also told the totally independent, non-puppet Department of Justice to prosecute Tish James and Adam Schiff, saying they are guilty as hell of something, or everything. Specifically, having impeached and indicted him repeatedly in wokey fashion, which he feels is illegal. Hundreds of private citizens have been fired around the nation for expressing reservations about the pending sainthood of hate-monger Charlie Kirk. So much for freedom. Meanwhile, a writer for the Franco-inspired Daily Caller has called for blood in the streets. Progressive's blood, to be specific. He called for the violence to be vicious and disproportionate. The editor-in-chief explained that calling this a call for violence is totally dishonest. Dishonest, a bureaucratic term indicating panic over one's own culpability. Stephen Miller says, we are witnessing domestic terrorist sedition against the federal government. He's wrong. He's not witnessing it. In Asia news, Nepalese youth have set fire to government buildings in a widespread uprising against the banning of social media. It is, of course, these media platforms that enabled the youth to understand their country's gap between rich and poor. Well, that and being poor. Similar unrest has erupted in Madagascar and Morocco, perhaps heralding the advent of the Gen Z revolution. We shall Z. Isn't that their slogan? An exhibit in Thailand with art from Tibet and Hong Kong has been censored under pressure from China, resulting in silence from some almost internationalist Western leftists who are pretty sure it's all made up. court has struck down President Two Gender's order to the National Endowment for the Arts to abolish all other genders, saying it restricts free speech. The ruling was expected, as the Rhode Island judge is a hard-left radical liberal, having been appointed by George W. Bush. President America First is bailing out Argentina while shutting down the United States. He wishes to bolster President Milei's economic experiment in mass impoverishment. His efforts on behalf of the Trump of the Pampas are understandable, if fascist. In related bailout news, Trej Sek Besant says that if a Mamdani-led New York City ever needed a bailout, he would rush a polite memo reading "Drop Dead." That will in fact happen, since Mafia Don has already said he will cut off all aid to the communist Hamas-living city, which will put them in need of a bailout, which they'll have to get from Venezuela. I mean, China, or, you know. Anyway, ironically or otherwise, Argentina is undercutting U.S. farmers by lowering export taxes on soybeans sold to China. This attack on America pales beside the sacred duty of governments to starve peasants and de-work workers. So yeah, Argentina first. Or at least Milei. Bookstores from LA to New Jersey canceled appearances by Palestinian children's book author Jenan Matari on account of her very direct way of expressing support for Palestinians and criticism of Israel. Seems fair. After all, she poses a security threat. After Zionist activists harassed and stalked the bookstore's personnel, they decided to cancel. Wait for it, the anti-Zionist. End of story. And democracy.